I was born a psychonaut. Whether, seriously, like, I don't know, I was so fascinated with hallucinogenic drugs. And I read about them when I was a kid. I read the journals of, was it Ken Kesey or something? And, like the first scientists who founded LSD, who actually, now we know, intentionally created this awesome drug, which to this day is one of the most greatest psychedelics of all time. But I was so fascinated with the idea of, I don't know, at the time I thought it was just visuals, but now I know it to be so much more. And oh man, there's a story here, and the story is the first time I went way hardcore balls tripping on mushrooms. Whoa, dude, I had a quarter ounce. So check this out. I was a born psychonaut, like I say, when I was 12 years old, before I had done any drugs. I was on the internet, the proto-internet, reading about LSD and these drugs and the chemicals and how they alter the brain and the brain chemistry and all that stuff. And so I was really curious about this and just the potential for this. And little did I know what I was getting into. So I was in college many years later. I'm 19 years old, probably 18, 19. And there's some dude going around and he's promoting some mushrooms he's got for sale. And they're Ecuadorian. No, they're not. That's what I grew. I grew mushrooms, or did I? So I was actually growing mushrooms at the time, Ecuadorian cubensis, but they weren't ready yet. They were still, in the some guy comes over and we're with our friends and he's like, yeah, man, I got some shrooms, dude. They're going to flip your lid, bro. Like, the eighth is like, you're going to be fucking out there, man. And this dude was like, I thought he looked like he was on shrooms. So we got a bunch of shrooms. I don't know. Everyone got an eighth at least. I don't know. But for some reason, I had a quarter. I don't know why. I think I was really concerned with getting high, which you should be concerned with. So I took an eighth, and so did one of my friends. And we were hanging out, and his eyelids, his irises, his pupils dilated, and he looked like a cartoon. It was freaking awesome. He looked like a cartoon. He's like, well, bro, bro. Oh, I'm tripping balls, man. And his glasses were like tilted, like weird and stuff. And he's like, oh, man, everything's so hardcore. And I was totally sober. We ate our shrooms at the same time. We both had an eighth. I'm sitting next to him. I'm like, whoa, damn. Maybe they just don't work on me. So I took another eighth. And I go back to, and so for some reason, I go back, we're at the dorms. I go back to my dorm room and I make a PBJ. And I put like the crumbs of the shrooms in there and I eat that. And I'm like, shrooms just don't work on me. So it's been like an hour and a half. And I go into my room and I sit down on my dorm room and I sit down on my bed, and I had a dorm mate with me, and he comes in and he sits down on the bed. Or he comes in, he's like, hey, what's up, what's going on, Eric? And I'm like, hey, what's up, man? I just had a bunch of shrooms. He goes, yeah? Oh, that sounds cool. And just when he responded to me like, yeah, that sounds cool, his smile just goes and goes up the sides of his face like the grin. He's just, and he's like, yeah. And then the whole world, the whole room, and I don't know if he was laughing, but everything was laughing. The whole room's, I think I was laughing probably. I think, It just his smile went up his face. It was crazy. And just the whole room was laughing, and I was laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, the shrooms just hit me. Oh my gosh. And he was like, oh, that's great, man. I'm like, this is the greatest feeling ever. Oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden he flips the light switch and the lights turn out. And it's dark. And then it just turns into a freaking nightmare. It was an instant nightmare. It was so scary. So suddenly he's just on a different vibe. He's sober and he's going to bed. It's probably like a Monday. This is college. And so he's going, he just lays down in his bed. And now the shrooms start really hitting me. I've had a 1/4 ounce of potent mushrooms. And I am just starting to trip. And I'm looking around the room. And things are starting to get crazy fast. And I can't make out anything. I'm looking at things in the room, but I can't understand what I'm looking at. And I'm trying to use my logical brain in the background to say, what was in this room before this thing that I'm looking at? For example, I'm looking at this wall and I just see melting stuff. Just everything's just melting. It's a waterfall. It's just everything was just melting so hardcore, and it was just getting more gnarly. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just lay down in my bed. I'm going to lay down. So I lay down, and I'm looking across where my roommate slept, and my logical brain is like, okay, it's your roommate. It's your roommate. But my logical brain is starting to slip away. And so I'm looking at this thing that's like, shaped, curled in the bed. And then all of a sudden it just looks like an anaconda looking at me, ready to eat me. And it's just waiting to get that little, I'm like, ugh. So I'm just looking at this. And it's like, I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's gonna eat me. I gotta get out of here. So I want to get up, but I just fall to the ground and I just start crawling on the floor. Just everything. Oh yeah. Before this, I'm laying in the bed too. And I'm like, and I touch my face and I just feel my face peeling off into my hands. And I can see my big chunks of my face and my skin just peeling off into my hands. And I just chunks of face just and just chunks of gut, blood, and all sorts of goo. It's so nasty. And I'm just like, oh no, this is horrible. I have to get out of here. And things were just getting out of control. Like this Britney Spears poster was like just melted and monster. I couldn't even tell. There's like some like inflatable thing. It was just, everything was melting. I was just like, I got my face in my hands. So I like fall to the ground. I'm crawling and I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of here. Oh man, I really gotta pee. Oh my gosh. So I'm crawling. I swear to God, I couldn't walk. And I'm crawling to the bathroom. And I just know that there's a bathroom over here. I'm crawling. And I can't see the doorknob. And I'm just, because I just see a waterfall. But I'm pretty sure there's a doorknob there. So I'm just like, and I find the doorknob and I push it and I just slide into the bathroom and I crawl into the bathroom and I just push myself up. And I'm like, oh, and I stand up. I'm like, whoa, it's so hard. I have to hold myself against the wall. I'm like, whoa. And I flip on the light and it's like, the energy of the light, because I was in darkness. It's like, whoa, it was so intense. It was just like such a rush. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh, by the way, this happened how long ago? Like 22 years ago. And I still remember it like it was yesterday. So the light's like, so I pulled up my pants. Okay, I gotta pee. I was like, oh, wait, I gotta puke. I just puke a ton, and it's just like a swamp of shrooms. And then all of a sudden, the shrooms really hit me because I just puked up I don't know, a couple grams or more, but it just made everything just exponentiate and just condense into a laser beam. Into just insanity. And then all of a sudden things got really crazy. And I'm like, okay, and I remember looking, and I remember the image of the shrooms in the toilet too, what it looked like. And it was a swamp. There was a PBJ and a bunch of shrooms. But man, woo! I stood up and busted out my dick and started to take a piss. But I was looking at my wiener, and it was looking real hardcore. I'm like, whoa! It was super long, and then it was like, it's super tiny, it's like a half an inch. Then it's like, and it was like purple, then green, and like. And it's just like changing shapes. I'm like, oh my God, this is so hard. And I'm just like trying to like aim, and I'm like peeing, and it's like a rainbow. It's like, and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on? I think I'm peeing in the place I'm supposed to pee, whatever that is, I don't know. And just everything is just melting around me. I'm like, flush, turn off the light. I just start crawling. Back to the door, tapping at the door. Where's the doorknob? Because it's just a waterfall. It's just so dark and scary. And I reach in. And I'm in this hallway of this dorm room, and I'm like, I gotta get somewhere safe. And I'm like crawling on the ground just to see the light, the glow of the moon in the distance. And I get back, I crawl to this couch. I just lay on this couch. And I lay on this couch, and there's this bats everywhere, and there's spiders all over me. Spiders! Get off of me! For hours. And I was just in this hell until the sun came up. When all I had to do was go to my friend's room down this little way and see what's up with him, because he was having a torturous, hellish experience too. We could have had it together, or had a great laughing high. It would have been awesome, which is great in the smaller doses. I got really into small doses after. In fact, I got really into sobriety after that. And then when I finally got back into shrooms, and the irony is then my shrooms proliferated, and I had tons of shrooms. I had like a pound of shrooms that had just grown, and I didn't want to have them, and I couldn't even give them away. No one wanted them. They're like, oh, we all just had those shrooms that guy just sold us. I'm like, you mean the guy that I just got them? Yeah, he sold them to all of us. Yeah, we're all shroomed out. I'm like, damn it. Yeah, dude, I want to just give you some shrooms. You want some shrooms? They're like, nah, I'm cool. We just took too many shrooms. Yeah, me too. I probably had a lot more than you, though. But actually, I ended up having mushrooms, and the fresh was off the hook. It was a whole nother experience. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend growing them. It's very magical, mystical, and yeah, just make sure you're with somebody and you don't choke on your own puke. Otherwise, it's pretty safe. Great experience. And then I would later learn how these things were actually a spiritual tool. And I would have no idea of this at the time. But after my last DMT blast off, where I went to the multiverse, that was a real slap in the face. That was a big brain rape. And that's another story for another time. Yeah, maybe my next story? I don't know. I gotta watch this game. What game? Who cares? But yeah, keep on psychonauting. Try DMT. Screw shrooms. DMT.